What's going on, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Summing Up with the Summoners. It's your boy Damon.
And Katoya.
You know what it is. We are here for another episode. Today we're talking about handling stress and anxiety in relationships. It's real.
It's too real. I don't even know if I'm capable to really discuss this.
We're just going to share about ourselves. We're going to speak from our truth.
Actually, I need y'all to weigh in. For real. No.
We would love to weigh in. We would love to, because we're going to get into it. We're going to dive into it. Before we get into it, because we're excited to talk about it, we do want to shout out and just say appreciate you as always. We don't get into it without saying thank you for listening every week, going back, whatever it is. We appreciate it here. And we want to appreciate those as well who have left reviews over on Apple. So what we got this week?
Yep, it comes from Joey Crack.
Joey Crack.
It's called Sum It Up.
Come on.
So Damon messaged me on Facebook to listen to his podcast with his wife. Listened to One Simple Solutions podcast and I'm hooked. We'll catch up on past episodes and look forward to future ones. That's sweet.
That's a whole episode by itself. That review is a whole episode by itself.
What you mean?
Joey Crack, just the first sentence and a half.
No, so Damon messaged me on Facebook.
Y'all hit me up for cold mail strategy. Anyway, appreciate you, Joey Crack. Like, that was not only to listen and enjoy yourself, but then you also took another step further and hit us with a review. 5 stars.
Yeah,
only.
I do appreciate that. I also appreciate you shouting out that Simple Solutions. You know?
He did say that.
Yeah,
I listened.
We like
good.
it. I don't know if I felt like I've heard tons of people be like, yeah.
No, somebody hit me up on Twitter about that too. Somebody was like, "Old Simple Solutions be too good." And if you don't know, go back and listen. It's like, what a Simple Solution is a type
Just
of
last
episode
week,
we do.
actually.
It was. Listen to it, check it out. But appreciate that for sure. Let's get into this episode here. Handling stress and anxiety in general, but also specifically when we're talking about being in a relationship. You know, mental health has become we become more aware of it, right?
Normalized.
Right? And which I think is dope. It's exciting. We need it. And there's so much to unpack here. We're only going to do so much in 25 minutes or so. But when you're talking about stressors, right, in general, there's a lot. And then specifically, if you're in a relationship, you know, you can sprinkle in a few more, right? And there's a lot. I mean, we have, if you don't know, we've been together for 16 years, married for 13, 3 kids. Just in case you started episode 50. You know, everybody don't start episode 1.
No, they don't.
And that was a lot of stressors,
Well, the longer you go, I was still podcast. She's been going for years. And I was like, where am I supposed to go?
Oh, podcast that you like?
Yeah,
like
episode 250.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I'm
just picking titles now.
Yeah. That's most of what I do with podcasts.
Anyway,
I start with titles.
But no, it is true. People may not know.
There's a lot of stressors, right? If you're listening to this here, you got the work, right? You're trying to climb the career ladder, right? Maybe you want to start your own business. There's the personal, right? Stress.
There's family, there's pandemic, there's health, there's children, there's so many.
There's so much.
There's work, there's
so
the idea of work.
much.
And you know what? The reality is that some of it can just be the thought of any of it. Forget what's actually happening. Just I thought about it. I say that because I understand that. Wait,
weird.
I'm stuck in the thought process. I can't even move to the actions and I'm already overwhelmed. So, yeah, I mean, Instagram, social media, thinking about your life, feeling it in your heart, being pulled by somebody's personal situation,
goals,
your friends. Oh, Lord Jesus, you
failure.
guys know.
You know.
There
right?
are all type of stressors.
All type of stressors. And specifically when you're talking about being in a relationship, that adds on. Right? I'm trying to be the best husband I could be for her, and she'll come through and do the same thing. We're both trying to be great parents and so on and so forth. And the reality is that every day, and I hope the reality is for you, is that I'm trying to do everything that I can to help Katoya with any stress that she has individually, and then I'm trying to make sure that in this marriage here, I'm trying to keep the stress down. I'm trying to make sure that how I'm walking, how I'm living, what I'm saying, the words I'm using, right, my actions on a day-in-a-day basis, I'm not trying to cause extra stress. We already got a lot going on. If I can be home, help out with dinner, put the kids in the shower, like you don't need to, if I can help with that, let's go ahead and just lower that stress.
And I'd like to say that I'm very grateful to have a husband who thinks like that. I know some of y'all are listening. Like when you tell me your husband builds sheds and stuff, and you just be like, man, that's real cool.
That's dope.
Nice.
That's dope, bro.
I understand. That's not my husband.
No, that's
so when
not
I hear that, I be like, man, that's.
Oh, I'm like, bro, you killed it.
Legit.
I'm like, you killed it. Show me the pictures.
And I know some of you listening to him say that, you're like, man, that's golden. So
listen,
I understand that feeling.
It's real. We all got strengths.
But I also want to say I appreciate that because I do know that's not always the forethought of many, and it's vice versa. How we handle stress is so different.
Let's get into that.
Yeah, because stress is hard to handle, individually, and then you take that stress into your relationship. You take it to your children. You know, I walk in and they be like, "You alright? How was your day today, Mom?" And I'm like, "Whatever." Okay.
Yep.
But that's a check for me, right? Like, hey, you might want to focus in right here or excuse yourself for a moment to gather yourself, because now everybody's kind of feeling some of the stress that you're bringing.
Right. To the house. Right.
To the house. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So we handle stress very differently. Like I said, I'm a thought process person. I get stuck at the thought. I don't even, then the action, and then Lord forbid I have to plan something like an event. Oh gosh. The anxiety around planning events is just, I have like 2 events this week. I actually have like 2 events, a pound thing that's kind of important. It's just too much. That's too many things for me in a week.
Yeah. We handle stress definitely differently. I'm going to know about things that are stressing her out.
Everyone's
I'm gonna know. That's a beautiful thing.
Hey, how you doing today? Well, woo. You sure?
You got time? You got a coffee? Do you need a seat? If you're gonna ask me that question, ask it to me seriously.
It's actually really unfortunate.
No, it's not. It's not unfortunate.
Well, and Damon you just would think he had no stress.
You would think that isn't accurate.
So you have to like pry to understand, or just wait to receive.
Those are both valid. Those are both valid. When I feel stressed, and I do feel like I am not as stressed as I think as several. But when I do feel stressed for myself, it's definitely a lot more internalizing, a lot more thoughts internally, right, that I'm kind of processing through. And then I've been trying to do better. If you've been keeping up with our journey, I've been trying to do a better job of putting Katoya in the journey, putting Katoya closer to the beginning of the thought process than when I've got to the end of a decision, or just kind of thoughts of like where I am. I don't know if you want to see your bae, your SO, like just explode, and you're like, whoa, what? How did we get here, right? And I think that's an important piece when you're talking about when you're being with someone, exclusively, whether you've been 28 years or 2 days, you want to care for this person well. Mm-hmm. So you want to be able to support them and care for them and be that ear, whether it's them venting, whether they want solutions.
Never vent to your girl.
That's one of my favorite tweets to laugh at all the time. But you want to be there. So if you can help them, by putting them in the thought process, this is what I'm thinking, right? This is how I'm feeling. This is what happened. This is what it is.
Yeah, and
that matters.
I'm not trying to be, speak for all women, but I will say that I do believe that, that's all a woman really wants to hear is like, tell me about it. Like it's because if not, when you don't speak or you don't have that opportunity to be vulnerable or comfortable sharing what's stressing you or where you are, or a fear or any of those things, then it can blow up, and then it can explode, and someone's like, whoa, I had no idea you were there.
Yeah.
So having those conversations and check-ins and being open is going to be important so that the blow up doesn't come.
Yeah. I remember one of the last few times I feel like we were collectively anxious was a few years ago. We were looking to buy a second car. And buying a car is like stressful. It ain't fun. It's money.
A few years ago?
Yeah. Like when you remember we were at that car lot, sitting in a van, talked for an hour? You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was I remember it was our...
It's just like last year.
Was it last year? If it was a bit, well, when you're in the middle of a global pandemic.
I remember.
Or maybe it was, we were thinking about how to potentially find our first car.
Minivan.
It was going to be the blue car, actually. It was actually, I correct myself.
No, you're right.
We were in between getting a new car. Yes, right. That's right. And it was, and I remember us doing the search. It's stressful. You trying to get off work.
Get that minivan.
Right? And so we get to a spot. And we're about to test drive this. We were shout out to the vans. We pro vans. This is a pro van podcast.
Yeah, that's when our kids were smaller. Though.
Yes, yeah, that's true. We were sitting in a Honda Odyssey and we were talking, and I feel like being together for so long, like we both kind of just sat and we just really were able to just talk and be honest about how stressed we were about the process. She was kind of sharing how she would listen to her gut. This didn't feel great, and I was kind of receiving it, like and I'm more of a like. I pride myself on trying to be efficient with decisions, but like not hasty. And there's a balance, right? There's a fine line with that. So I was listening to, her words and the stress, and I'm kind of like, we finna, this is money. We trying to buy a new car. And we just both stopped. I was like, let's not do it. Let's not get this van. And it is, I think, we got a great Honda Pilot right now. I think it was a great decision for us. And it's very kind of like just anxious and stressful decision for our family. Like we gotta have a car.
Yeah, it wasn't even a second car. It was like
we had yes, that's true.
Our main car was out.
And so just that communication and being able to stop and listen, I think is just so important, right? When we're talking about that and being able to listen to your SO and be like, all right, this is how I really feel. I'm gonna put all the cards out on the table. You want that. You want to know that you got somebody that you can put all the cards out on the table and like, all right, well, what we gonna do? Because if I didn't feel like I could come to you with my goals and my fears or whatever the case may be, then it's just like, all right, well, we in this relationship, but I gotta do it by myself.
Right. Well, there has to be a balance. Like, I feel like it is the truth to what Damon's saying with the hasty and efficiency. Because I feel like he makes decisions, so immediately, quickly. And I'd be like, wait, did you take the 15 hurdle jumps that I made in order? Like, I had 15 obstacles before that decision came. And you had, like, none. You just had a clear run path.
No.
Wait, I'm doing hurdles and you doing a sprint. I'm confused. That's what our decision process feels like. However, it's helpful, I think, for whoever you are, for Damon to have his efficient, clear, hey, this is a running path. I'm making this decision. And then it's helpful for me to be like, but wait, red flag, next hurdle. What about this idea? What about this thing? Because then we can, and then sometimes there is a fear, right? Like, oh, I'm finna throw all this on him. He ain't even considering those things. This is going to be like adding more to the problem. But if it's on you, if you're thinking, if you got that gut feeling, if it's in the back of your brain, whatever it is, you need to be able to feel free to, discuss what that stress is or what that problem is or what those obstacles may be as you're arriving to make a decision or as you're arriving to like be at peace about something. That's, because stress is really, to me, stress is about, like a lot of decisions. Trying to come to some resolve on something that's like really, deep into your heart, deep into your belly, deep into your mind, something that's really gripping you. That's me, but I think it can look different for everyone.
Definitely. We're going to talk about how it looks specifically for us a little bit more in details. We'll be back after a quick sponsor break.
So I don't really love to cook as the primary cook in this family. However, what I do like is to jazz up the meals when I do cook, right? I'm looking for spices, seasonings, dry rubs, and I found a good place. It is Artisan Dry Goods made by beautiful Briny C. So a little bit of everything to spice up, jazz up your meal. It is a local store right here in Atlanta, but ready to ship out to you all over the world.
Absolutely. And they're legit. I'm going to be honest with you here. Forbes, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and Oprah's magazine. And you know Oprah only going to promote the good stuff, all right? So check them out. Instagram, beautiful Briny C. Make your kitchen better. All right, I'm talking about real good ingredients, urban gardens, local farms, so it's good for your taste buds, good for your body. Check them out, and let's get to the episode. All right, we're back. Check them out. Beautiful Briny C. All right, so let's keep digging into, one thing for us when we talk about how stress impacts our relationship. Off top, it's going to look differently just because of how it impacts us, and right, so it's going to be displayed differently. Where, like, I'm going to be more, like I said already, internalized. Couture's, you got to know about it, right? And I actually was sharing with you the other day, yesterday, day before, something like that, about something that I was stressed with. And it's
still funny.
It's still funny. Still funny. She didn't laugh. Let me be very clear. She did not laugh in that moment.
No.
But what I'm saying is like I was like I'm thinking ahead. Like so how it looks for me is like I'm gonna be thinking about it a lot, consistently, often. And it's usually gonna be big picture, long term. Like so this what I was sharing with her and opening up my heart about being anxious about things were things that were going to be impacting my May, June 2022.
It's
right?
True. And I did not laugh in his face.
No, I felt heard. I felt affirmed in that moment. But yeah, and that's how it's going to kind of be in feel for me, right? And so what I want from Katoy, what I need from Katoy is to know that I can talk, I can share, I can give you, what I'm anxious about. You're probably not going to hear it probably as often as I probably would prefer to say it, or definitely as much as you would prefer to say it. But when it comes, I know and I'm confident Katoya is there as my SO, as my main thing.
And I'm listening. I'm like, all right, look at you opening and discussing. I only laugh because his stress sounds so calm. All right. And it's like, well, I'm just, these things are here and I am here. And it just sounds so clear. It still is not pulled by 15 different emotions or anything. But I know that that's him expressing it. And so I'm all ears and always ready to listen because I know that's what he wants. That's what he needs. And that's his effort in bringing me into the process. So I value that and I respect that and I make space for that. So that he has an outlet and that he feels safe in our relationship to share. And I always feel that way. Unfortunately, I do carry probably a lot more outward stress.
So unfortunate. It's good to know. You over here playing. She's playing Where's Waldo with me, whereas for her, it's like it is clear. It is right here.
It's like this. I'm Waldo. I'm Waldo.
It's all stripes in
Waldo
this room.
with a hat. It's clear.
It
okay.
Is crystal.
Waldo, the only one on the page.
Only one on the page.
Showing all his different emotions and outfits.
The book is Here's Waldo.
Here's Waldo. These are her emotions, feelings, and stress.
Here's Waldo at the store. Here's Waldo on the toilet. I know where Waldo is, okay? I know where Waldo is.
That's pretty funny.
No surprise. Meanwhile, I'm over here with a plant in front of my face.
I'm like, why your Waldo like that? Waldo ain't never had nothing on his face like that.
I'm in black stripes.
Search for this man.
I got a coat on. Take your coat off, man. I can't see your stripes.
Waldo don't wear purple. Anyway, but that's okay, and I'm sure you guys can relate as we all are different, right? And the way that our partners handle stress, we just have to be ready to understand that, you got
to walk in that understanding.
Yeah, because Damon is so, like, just non-judgmental. I don't even know if that's been recorded, not at this moment, but I'm gonna
say it again.
Yeah, that's what I need in that moment, and I appreciate that, and that is pivotal.
That is huge. That is huge in relationship to feel not judged specifically from your SO.
Yeah, because Damon's a big picture. I'm the big picture doesn't. I see it, but realistically, I'm worried about all the steps that I need to take to get to that bigger picture.
Right.
And Damon's like, those little steps, I'm in them. Mm-hmm. I just want to make sure the big picture is gotten, Mm-hmm. And so we handle our stress and even the way we approach what is stressful differently. But even though it's different, what you don't want is someone coming and just saying,
Ooh.
all you gotta do is.
You can't have that.
That's the worst.
You can't have that.
Baby, if all I had to do was do that, I would have done it.
I would have did that.
I'm not wired that way for all you gotta do is.
Don't say that. Don't say that in a relationship.
You come to me with your situation, I'm all you gotta do.
Don't say that in your relationship.
Don't make definite statements.
Ooh.
You know, because it's already, like, no one needs you to name their stress. They know their stress.
They know the stress. Absolutely.
So if you just are saying it, then that's not helpful.
Yeah.
So encouragement is something that is needed,
definitely,
you know, in your relationship.
Absolutely. And as we kind of wrap it up here, I think it's, you know, we were talking about this recently here. I think it was even, we were joking about it. It's some old song. I can't think of the song at all, but it's like encourage yourself. I think that's like the chorus. And when you're talking about how are you, Donald Lawrence, and so when you're talking about like ways to handle stress, like there's so many ways, right? And we handle it similar. We also handle it differently. Like one way off top, I think we both will agree on that anyone and everyone is like continue to like surround yourself with like people who are going to be encouraging, uplifting, helpful with problem solving. Like we talked about that a few episodes ago, and like having that safe circle, and that's big. I know I got a couple dudes I could call right now, and if I'm stressed out, I could just lay it out, put all my cards on the table, and I know they're gonna be encouraging, they're gonna be inspiring, they're gonna help me thinking through problems, and that's what you need. So that's definitely one way to make sure I'm looking around like, all right, my SO here, but also besides them,
right,
you know, do I have another circle that can help me kind of like walk in the midst of this?
It's true. Something else is, you know, doctor's orders always exercise, diet, and sleep.
Don't ever go wrong with that.
You can't go wrong with that. It's a part of self-care, right?
You can't go wrong with it.
We have to take care of ourselves. And this is a part of that, you know, making sure that you do all of anything you need to do, want to do, journal, read, write, draw, close your eyes, candles, meditate, prayer, whatever you need.
Get that bubble bath
but
going.
In addition to being active, moving your body, releasing those endorphins, and just gearing that up, that mental shift right there from activity is pivotal, and fueling our body appropriately and getting enough rest.
It's probably my favorite one to do is to get up and get moving, exercise, working out. Even if you hate it, but like just moving, take a walk. You ain't got to be out here doing Billy Blanks and Insanity 2.0. You ain't got to just walk, you know, and just kind of let your mind go. That's all I had right now. That's all. Everything I had was on DVD. And so my older millennial, keep up. And so, like, but just like moving and just having that body just kind of sweat a little bit and be like, ooh, all right, I need to just get up. I've been sitting in the funk, I've been at the office all day, been in traffic.
Refocus.
You know what I mean? And so that's one of my favorite ones here.
Yep. Well, my last two would just be the idea of if you aren't talking to somebody about that stress, you know, friends are great. Your partners are great.
Yep.
A therapist, a counselor of some sort to really process through a lot of that is even better.
Yeah.
It's such a safe place for you to just share, and it should be. And for you to just talk and get some good feedback that can kind of bring you back to where you need to be to process that stress appropriately. And then also just speaking positively to yourself.
Talk.
Yep. Affirm, believe, encourage yourself.
Sometimes we can be so negative in our mental. The mental can be so negative.
Yeah.
Just put ourselves down.
Lying to ourselves.
And believe in lies too.
Believe in them lies.
You know everybody ain't on vacation on Instagram. Get rid of that. Turn that off.
You know she just spent her last check doing that.
You know that. So I had another joke, but I'm gonna save it. But we just gotta encourage. I can't get it. It goes up. I can't get it. I can't think of this. I'm gonna Google that. I'm gonna Google it after this episode here. But that's for real. Like that positive talk matters so much when you're stressed, when you're anxious about a lot going on here. Because it starts with you, right? It starts with you. So that's it. We hope y'all found value in this, man. We know we definitely have, as always. We appreciate y'all listening, you know, every week. Thank y'all so much. Check us out on Instagram, Summit Up Sumners. Summit Up Sumners. See, that's where the conversation keeps happening. That's where the engagement keeps happening. So check us out over there. But damn it, Couture, sum it up. We'll see y'all soon.
Bye.